All right, hi everybody. Welcome back to lesson 2 of Wellness 1. So yesterday we talked about the frame. Make sure if you have not turned in that assignment, you do that today before you start this. All right, we want to make sure that these assignments don't pile up on top of you guys because we are going to be moving quickly. So for today, we're going to be talking about beliefs, all right, also known as false beliefs, and we're going to decide between fact or fiction. So why are we talking about this? Well, believing is the beginning of achieving. All right. So we have to know what we believe in order to get what we want to achieve. So beliefs play an important role in our success. All right. More than most of you guys realize. Our beliefs are going to impact how we see things. So what we talked about yesterday. Okay. Our beliefs frame our reality in the corner up there by the sea. Okay. So like we talked about yesterday, our C influences how we feel and what we do and what we get. Okay, so sometimes we get confused about what we see. We aren't sure if it's fact or belief. So that's what we're talking about today, how to decipher between the two and the importance of being able to decipher between the two. So a fact is something that is true for all people, and a belief is a thought or idea that you think is true. So we have two examples down here. It's too cold to go camping when it's 20 degrees outside, and water freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So, which one do you think is a fact? Well, water does in fact freeze at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. But it's too cold to go camping when it's 20 degrees outside. It's probably a belief. All right, I'm sure there are a couple of you in class that say that that's not too cold, and there's some of you that say anything under 75 degrees is too cold. Okay, so that's going to be your belief. And that's what you think is true. All right? Strictly about what you think is true. There are no facts behind it, and it is different for all people. So, false beliefs are harmful, right? They make us act in certain ways that are not in our best interest. They diminish our lives. They block us from seeing the truth. They hold us back, and they keep us stuck in places we don't like. And then we become convinced that the belief is fact. Right? So that's when things start getting shaky, is once we don't know that our belief is in fact just a belief and not a fact. So we're going to talk about the law of I am. So negative I am statements up here on the top. I am going to fail this math test. I am going to be bored with learning about this stuff. I am not going to make the fall play. I am never going to get along with my dad. Okay, but down here we have some positive ones. I am about to figure out this math problem. I am going to focus when I do science today. I am going to enjoy my time at home. I am going to connect with my family. Okay, so the law of I am says whatever we say after we say I am is what we will become. So if we're putting things in a positive frame, that's what we're going to become. But if we're saying things in negative frame, and say the words like fail and not and never, okay, that's when that is what we are going to become. But if we want to stay down here on this positive one, it's I am going to figure this out. I will. Okay, that's where it changes after the word I am. So now we're going to talk about the law of conviction. So this can get a little bit tricky sometimes. So there's a scale here from 1 to 10. Okay, how convinced you are about a belief will determine how real that belief is to you. So the higher that your conviction, the more real that belief becomes. Okay, so if your belief is, I'm going to fail this math test. If on the conviction scale, you say it's a 9, that's really high. Okay, that's how real that belief is going to be for you. Okay, the higher the conviction, the more that belief becomes real. So how's this test going to go for me? Well, I'm going to fail it. And I really believe that. Okay, it's a 9, it's solid. I'm over here crying. Okay, so the more we believe something to be true, the more real it is for us. Now, if we take that down to a 3 and we ease up, and now when we say I'm going to fail this math test, okay, you're realizing that it's just this test, okay? It's just one test. When you have a false belief in your head that you think is true, that belief will get in your way. You have to be willing to ease up on your conviction scale to get the negative beliefs out of your head. So sometimes you have to change your frame, change the bigger picture, and realize that, all right, maybe I can do this. Maybe it's not the end all be all. Okay? Try to bring that down to a 3. So ease up on your false beliefs. Don't just say it, okay? You must change what you're going to do. You can't just say, oh, yep, now I've changed it down from a 9 to a 3. You have to be willing to change how you feel about it and change your actions as well. So there's 3 ways that we can ease up on false beliefs, okay? So number 1, every time you have the strong belief, you can do these 3 things. You can say to yourself, not now. You can say maybe, or you can state the opposite, okay? Challenge your belief. So if your belief is, I'm going to fail this test, challenge it and say, I'm going to pass this test. Okay, or say, not now. I'm not going to fail this now. Or maybe, but you have to change those words to say that you're not saying, I will fail this, all right? If you find yourself looking for evidence to prove your strong belief to be true, okay, you ease up by looking for your evidence that your conviction may not be true. Okay, so look for things that tell you that it may not be true. And number 3, identify a behavior that would be consistent with a lower level of conviction. If you think a class is extremely boring, decide to either stop seeking support for your false belief by complaining, do something to go against your false belief every day, and give that false belief the opposite attention that you would normally do. Okay, so identify behavior that would be consistent with a lower level of conviction. Okay, so if you think a class is extremely boring, do one of these 3 things. All right, so for example here, we have 2 tendencies and 2 frames. Okay, our false belief is going to be my teacher hates me. So number 1, we like people who we believe like us, and we don't like people who we believe don't like us. Okay, so we think that my teacher hates us. Our conviction scale is a 10 here. So if our conviction scale is a 10 in our frame, I'm going to see that my teacher hates me. I'm going to feel angry, apathetic, overwhelmed. Okay, what am I going to do? Well, I'm not going to be attentive to class. I'm going to act up. I'm not going to do my homework. What am I going to get? Probably bad grades, angry parents, and I might have to retake the class. All right, but let's say my conviction scale is a 5. Okay, I say maybe my teacher doesn't hate me. So if I think maybe I'm going to be a little more open, less angry, more curious. What am I going to do? Well, I'll engage for the first part of the lesson, actually ask for help, okay, advocate for myself. And I might get a B-. Okay, there's going to be more positive things out of it. My parents probably won't be mad at me, and I won't have to take the class. Okay, and that all changed because I thought maybe my teacher doesn't hate me. So here's that frame. Okay, same frame, bigger picture. So now you're going to do your assignment based on these notes and things that we just went through. Okay, so it's going to be at the bottom of the page again. I think it's titled Wellness 1 Beliefs or Wellness 1 False Beliefs. All right, you're going to open it in Notability. It is a PDF, so make sure you download it in there. And it, again, is due tonight at midnight. Let me know if you have any questions.